years since the ruling of Shelby versus Holder gutting Section 5 of the Voting Rights Act of 1965. It mandated the pre-clearance of any state historically engaged in racial discrimination to change its rules or alter its process for citizens to vote. The 15th Amendment clearly states the right of citizens of the United States to vote shall not be denied or abridged by the United States or any state on the count of race, color, or previous condition of servitude. The 24th Amendment also states the right of citizens of the United States to vote in any primary or other election for president, vice president, or for senator or representative in Congress shall not be denied or abridged by the United States or any state by reason of failure to pay any poll tax or other tax. These are only two of several amendments that address the very fundamental right of U.S. citizens to vote. It appears that the Michigan legislation, some of them have not gotten the memo. They are in direct violation of these and other amendments. They are also violating their own personal oath of office, in which they have sworn and affirmed to support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the state of Michigan. They are violating their own oath. We are facing a political pandemic. We are facing a virus that is spreading like COVID-19, seeking to consume the very life out of democracy in over 47 states. They have placed democracy on a ventilator that provides not greater access, but rather a grand scheme to suppress the rights of a select group of Michiganders. Who would have thought that we would be fighting again for the very right to vote in the year 2021? These proposed 39 bills are without the input of any clerks, Democratic or Republican, or the Secretary of State of Michigan. They do not include any of the recommendations of voter advancement proposed by the Michigan Secretary of State. Voting rights are what John Lewis crossed the Edmund Pettus Bridge for. Voting rights are what Fannie Lou Hamer was just sick and tired of being sick and tired for. This very right is what Rosa Parks sat down on the bus and marched with Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. for. This right is what Medgar Evers was shot down in his driveway for. This right is what Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. was killed in Memphis for, as he stood for the rights of sanitation workers, often neglected, but who would not be disrespected. This right is what the civil rights movement was fought and won for. This right is what our children are depending upon us for. In the words of Sweet Honey in the Rock, we who believe in freedom must not and cannot rest until it comes. As we pay witness to the trial of Derek Chauvin for the murder of George Floyd on the streets of Minneapolis, as we pay witness to the shooting death of a 20-year-old young man on the same streets of Minneapolis, we must not stand by and watch the murder of our right to vote on the streets of Georgia, Texas, Pennsylvania, Arizona, Alabama, Florida, Mississippi, and yes, on the very pavement on the streets of Michigan throughout what used to be a pure Michigan. Michigan must not be polluted by the schemers who want to put voter suppression in the stream of our democracy. We have come too far to let any voter suppressors turn us back. Therefore, we must fight until we win. God bless you, and thank you for being here. Certainly, one of the cities that is being targeted by this bogus legislation being proposed among Atlanta, Philadelphia, and Houston, and Milwaukee is Detroit. You've heard Detroit being called out by the former president, and I hate to use that term, by the former guy who occupied the White House. You've heard them call out Detroit, but I'm glad we have a mayor that's willing to stand up and articulate that hell no, this won't go. Not in our city, not on our watch, not in our time.